Good evening, good evening. What's going on, guys? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Not much going on around the state right now. I just wanted to hop on here and give you guys the update. I know we had a lot of people on YouTube asking us if we're going to go live. We had the stream ready to go, so I want to answer some questions. Anybody has any questions? But for the most part, in the state here, we just have some heavy rain, thunder, and lightning, some gusty winds, and some small hail. We do have a special weather statement in effect for Washtenaw, Lenawee, and Monroe counties for this storm. Right now, the storm is actually dumping a lot of rain here at my house. I just went through the storm. I just got under an inch of rain in a matter of about 45 minutes. It's not done yet. So, need to update this radar. It's 10 minutes old. Give me 1 second. I just got back home. But for the most part, Monroe, Lenawee County, you guys, and also Washtenaw, you guys are in the special weather statement, and that is going to be for 40-mile-per-hour winds and pea-size hail. We do have a few other storms worth mentioning here. One entering Hillsdale County. Currently, no statement on that. No warnings, anything like that. Just some brief heavy downpours, thunder, and lightning. And then for the majority of the state, it's just going to be rain overnight tonight. And right now, the severe threat remains very low. So we had one storm up here that we had watching for a little bit. It had some brief convergence with another storm up here near Nashville, and that developed a little bit of some very broad rotation, and that seemed to have died down, but is producing some small hail at this point near Vermontville. Once we can get the radar to load, I will go ahead and show you guys that. But for right now, again, just heavy rain for most of us. That's going to overspread the region tonight from central southern parts of Michigan. There's a flood watch that is in effect until tomorrow about around noon. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and figure that out and see if they're going to cancel that early or issue warnings for that or what they're going to do. For some reason, my radar is not loading up. I'm not entirely sure why. Yes, flooding is going to be a concern for most of us here in southern Michigan. So Grand Rapids, Lansing, Detroit, you guys all had that flood watch. And that goes until tomorrow at noon. I need to figure out why my radar is not loading. I'm not entirely sure why. It says it's downloading here at the bottom, but if I can take the, there we go. Perfect. This storm right here near Vermontville, or Vermontville, should I say. This does indicate some broad rotation with this storm, but mainly just going to be some really gusty winds, some downdraft winds there, as well as some small hail and, again, gusty winds. And that's going to be moving east-northeast at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. So yeah, pretty much a pretty quiet night for severe weather. Nothing to be too concerned about. Although there is that risk that does continue into the evening for Southwest Michigan. We do have some more storms firing up here to the south of us in Indiana, and we'll have to keep an eye on that. Give me 1 second, guys. We do have these storms firing down in Indiana here that will work its way into the southwest part of the state in the next hour or two. We do have some storms on the lake that are moving up towards the St. Joseph and South Haven areas. We're going to have to keep an eye on those as well because they do bear some watching as their updrafts remain pretty strong. But again, the overall threat tonight for severe weather is quite low. It's just going to be mainly a flooding concern, but we're not going to rule out an isolated severe storm. Gusty winds as the main threat, some hail, and then just because we have a lot of spin in the atmosphere, there could be a very brief spin up tornado, but that should be a very small threat. Any questions, guys? Had some beautiful rainbow pictures coming out of like Jonesville up toward Napoleon earlier behind this storm. that moves through Lenawee and Washtenaw counties. So if you guys have pictures of rainbows or whatever you got tonight, go ahead and send those in to us. We'd love to see those. Calvin Howell's just going to be some rain tonight. No severe weather. Just some rain for you guys in Hillsdale County. We're not expecting there to be any like really bad storms, but there could be a few instances of some severe weather in Southwest Michigan tonight. In particular, south of 94, west of 69, so Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Coldwater, or not Coldwater. Call some names out here. So Kalamazoo, Centerville, Coldwater, Athens, Sturgis, Decatur, Niles, Cassopolis, Marcellus, Constantine. That corner in particular, we're watching for some potential for severe weather just because the ingredients with the wind shear and the amount of instability, it does bear some watching. And again, the only thing that's in the state right now is a special weather statement. That does not mean severe storm. It just means that a storm is strong. We do have another storm popping up just to the west of Hillsdale near Coldwater, moving off to the east-northeast. Again, just some heavy rain with that. No severe weather, nothing of velocity here indicating strong winds at this time. And that one storm up here near Vermontville, we're going to watch as that was producing some good winds and some very, very weak rotation as storms converge on each other, which is typical. We don't expect that to remain rotating at all. It just happens when storms converge. My main focus right now is back on these cells over the lake. I'm concerned for those for hail, but also the flooding threat. A lot of areas already very, very saturated with the recent rainfall. So I think flooding is going to be the very main threat tonight. So if you guys have towns or your houses or whatever prone to flooding, I would definitely, I would say take your precautions because with the rain forecasted overnight, it's probably going to rain. It's probably going to rain hard. So in areas in central southern parts of Michigan, I'd just be prepared for flooding. Yeah, right now it's just rain for Hillsdale. Howell, you are included in the flood watch for tonight. Yeah, Julie, it is thundering where I'm at here, so I'm hoping it makes it all the way to you. It should. Won't be any big boomers, but it should produce a few lightning strikes for you. Metro Airport, just rain. No severe weather is expected for you guys. What time for White Pigeon? Well, we're not really having a storm track toward White Pigeon right now. It's just going to be some rain. The main threat that I see with these pop-ups, if they continue to grow, is just some gusty winds. They continue to develop in the southwest Michigan area within the next hour or so. But again, my main focus is these storms over the lake here. You can see there's really bright, we're getting, 55, 60 dBz here with hail over the lake. So I'd be more concerned about these if they hold together. This special weather statement is actually for waterspouts. Radar indicated waterspout happening. So if those continue to move toward the lake or toward the western shorelines, we'll have to keep an eye on those. But for right now, again, we're just going to hang out here for a bit, answer some questions, and just watch some radar. Surprised how much rain I got in my house here. I'm left and I had nothing in my rain gauge. I came back about 45 minutes later and it's almost an inch. So it's very heavy rain here today. Have to see how this if this storm in Hillsdale County continues to move eastward, it'll go over the exact same areas. Although it's moving kind of north right now, we'll have to see if that tracks any further east. But areas like Onstead, up here in Addison, Tecumseh, Britain, Dundee, they just got dumped on with rain. So I'll have to keep an eye on that for the flooding threat. And that area just got dumped on a couple days ago. So Saturated soils tonight for a lot of people here in Michigan. You can kind of see where that storm had a little bit of a hook on it. Actually, it goes right there. Kind of see how that little hooks out right there, and there's a little bit of broad rotation here on radar. Keep an eye on that, but right now it continued in its weekend, so I'm curious about these storms over the lake. That's my main concern at this point for anything. Union City, you guys are just getting some rain threat for right now. And again, if any severe weather happens, it'll be in the next couple hours. But overall, the threat is very low for you guys. I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Rhonda, you probably missed a lot. Yeah, you did, Rhonda. Good to see you back here, though. Missed quite a bit. We've had a lot of people. We had a lot of people mention this earlier. The clouds are moving west. That is because we were north of the warm front. When you're north of the warm front, those clouds are going to be moving east to west. If you're south of that warm front, you're going to see the clouds moving south to north, or even a little bit maybe south to, or should I say southwest to northeast. So we were north of the warm front for most of the day over here on the eastern side of Michigan. So that caused the upper level clouds to move west. Let's see here. Yeah, John, I'm watching those storms closely. They're not really moving too quickly, but they are closer to the center of that low pressure, so it'll have better dynamics to produce. And that's why it's the marine warning over here on the lake and the blue box here is for waterspouts. And that's why you're going to see that box there for waterspouts, because the dynamics closer to the low pressure, the center of that low pressure, it has more spin nearby it. So that's why you're seeing that. So that's why I'm concerned. When is the rain supposed to stop? The rain should clear the state by tomorrow around noon. If you're on the east side, it might be a little bit after that. But if you're on the west side, maybe a bit before that. So right around noon tomorrow for most people. I really don't know if it's going to hit Kalamazoo. I'm watching this thing on radar. It's barely moving. So I'm not sure if it'll make it or hold together and hold its strength all the way over. If it does, I would say Kalamazoo, you would be in the path, but it's probably 2-3 hours away. We got dumped on? Yeah, 40. Where are you at? I'm curious. Are you local here? Because we just got a crap ton of rain where I live. Anything for Battle Creek, Hillsdale? Just some rain for you guys. The severe threat this evening is very low. Yeah, Dexter and Arbor area. Yeah, that storm really just. If we go back on radar and look at that storm real quick, it's still going in Monroe County. So Monroe County, you're getting dumped on right now, and also Washtenaw. We go ahead and look back at the radar and see if I can load radar for this. It was moving pretty quickly across Hillsdale and Branch counties, and all of a sudden it hit Lenawee County and it just kind of stalled out and it dumped on Lenawee County. There we go. See if I can load data here. There we go. It's not letting me load. All right. But yeah, the right along N50 here from Onstead to Tecumseh over into Dundee. Dundee's still getting rain. Just overall, about 1 inch of rain fell in the last 45 minutes to an hour. So, and we have more rain coming. That's not going to be it. And the funny thing is, Lenawee, Monroe, and even Hillsdale County, all the way over to Branch, St. Joseph, Cass, and Berrien, you guys are not in a flood watch. So I'm kind of shocked they didn't add you guys, but. So I'm just kind of playing around with some of these tools I have in my radar here, kind of seeing how high the storms are, stuff like that. This one on the lake, though, still is impressive to me. They just went ahead and issued another special marine warning, and this is going to be for waterspouts. Waterspouts and winds up to 40 knots, so up to about 45 to 50 mile per hour winds, and then waterspouts. So if you are on Berrien County here, if you're on Van Buren County shoreline areas, be prepared and keep an eye out on the lake for any type of waterspout that may move inland. But that's still about an hour out. The storm isn't moving pretty quickly. Good evening from Ann Arbor. Yes, we have Facebook, Twitter. We also have TikTok, and we also have Instagram, although we're not as active on TikTok or Instagram. If you need to get a hold of us, you can email us, Facebook, Twitter. Those are the best 3 ways to do it. The severe threat for Michigan today is quite low. If there's going to be any severe, it's going to be in the southern part of the state. But again, the threat is very low. Edwardsburg next few hours, just some rain as of right now. I'm watching this storm over here by Michigan City. It may have meandered towards Edwardsburg, but again, nothing really imminent for Edwardsburg, so I really can't say. This storm is barely moving, and I can't really track it. So, I mean, I can, but I just don't know how far inland it's going to make. Yeah, check that out. Drop a marker right here. Yeah, I got some good hail in there. Good downburst. Actually, some rotation with that too. Go ahead and drop another marker over here. Yeah, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. And that'd be moving on to the very far southwest corner here in the next. Looks like it's tracking towards Sawyer and Bridgman. I'll have to keep an eye on that. Go ahead and get the radar a little bit zoomed out here. I'll leave it right on there. Not be surprised if they issue a. I guess they already did. I was going to say another marine warning, but they issued it to the shoreline here in Berrien County. So. All right, back to chat here. Does a waterspout act the same as a tornado? It really depends. So a lot of times waterspouts will form off just cumulus decks of clouds. It doesn't have to be associated with a storm per se, but there are supercells that could become tornadic over water, but they are still considered waterspouts. They're 2 different things. So tornadic storms over water are not the typical waterspouts you see in the fall times. So when we have like really warm lake waters and we have this very cold air in the atmosphere, it creates an unstable environment. And that's where you get those waterspouts that are not tornadic in the fall. So there's a difference, but they do act the same in terms of the winds and stuff like that. It's just usually the waterspouts in the fall are a lot weaker versus a tornadic storm over the water. Similar to like a landspout versus a tornado type of situation. A landspout is much weaker than a tornado. Hey, Rodney. Lawton, if these storms continue eastward, maybe. Although our confidence in that happening is quite low. We don't really have confidence on that. It could, but chances are these storms will begin to weaken as the sun goes down. So that's why I'm kind of concerned here for the western shoreline, but not as concerned inland towards like Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Athens, Sturgis, stuff like that. It's possible, but just because it's moving so slowly, I just don't have the confidence to say it's going to make it that far. You see this area up here now. This is developing actually a hook over water. If you guys can see this, and correlation, you can see the rotation. Go ahead and drop a marker right there. You can see it on this end. That is indicative of some rotation on that storm now as well. And that's over water, luckily, but this is moving toward land. So we'll keep an eye on it. Nothing to be too concerned about right now, unless you're in the middle of Lake Michigan, which I highly doubt any of our viewers are in the middle of Michigan, Lake Michigan. So we'll keep an eye on it. It's about, I mean, it's still in the middle of the lake, so, but it does bear some watching there. Again, another special marine warning just issued for that. That's going to be probably for waterspouts. Yep, waterspouts and wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour. Elsewhere in the state, we do have this storm in Hillsdale County. Nothing on velocity indicating any type of wind or rotation with that storm. So just a heavy downpour, some probably lightning. Then over here in Monroe County, you guys are getting dumped down with rain. Take Detroit's radar here. I apologize. The radar is a little slow to load on this product. It's a little outdated, but I'll make do with it. Wait for it to load in. Answer some questions. Lansing, Michigan is dark. Yep, probably some rain for you guys. Nothing severe up there in Lansing, though. There's our radar. So, yeah, so anywhere east of west of Dundee here. Sorry about getting my directions mixed up here. So anywhere east of, anywhere west of Dundee, you're in the clear for now. Anywhere east of Dundee, you're in a bunch of rain. So Monroe, Ida, Maybe, Carlton, Estrel Beach, Detroit Beach, Woodland Beach, Stony Point, Flat Rock, Oakville, Whitaker, Trenton, Romulus up here in the Detroit, Taylor. You guys are in some pretty moderate to heavy rain right now. We do have more coming behind this. And it's going to be overnight tonight. We're going to have all this rain coming in. So luckily, this is moving a little bit further north to avoid the areas that have just gotten rained on. So luckily, that's the case for Lenawee and Monroe. But again, this is going to fill in overnight, and it's going to rain hard for a while. So back over here, focusing some attention again here on the storms over the lake. Just overall interesting velocities coming up in here. We have the greens and reds all over the place. So if these continue eastward, they're moving at about 10 miles per hour. That's just how slow they're going. So again, with the dynamics close to the low pressure, I wouldn't be surprised if they maintain their strength for a little bit longer. But because they're moving so slowly, that's going to be another hour or two before they reach inland. Maybe closer to an hour. We'll have to see how quickly they move. But for right now, the text of these warnings on the lake here are indicating this is saying severe thunderstorm capable of producing waterspouts located 12 nautical miles north of Burns Harbor, moving northeast at 20 knots. So this is moving at 25 to 30 miles per hour. So if that maintains its strength, Berrien County in the next probably 45 minutes to an hour. I'll go ahead and leave the radar right here. We'll go ahead and animate this and toggle the data to update automatically. And some more questions, guys. So reds on the velocity are outbound winds. Greens are inbound winds. I wish I could draw for you, but I can't draw on this product. But basically, the radar site here in northern Indiana, which is right here where I'm circling with my mouse, You do have these winds over here. The greens are moving toward the radar and the reds are moving away. So when you zoom in, if the greens are moving this direction and the reds are moving this direction, where they meet would form a little bit of rotation with that. Now this isn't really technically rotation. It needs to kind of touch and be a little bit brighter for me to kind of catch my eye, or to catch my eye, should I say. But it does bear some watching, as this storm does have a couple areas of brighter velocity. Go ahead and toggle back over here to Monroe County. Just some rain for you guys in Monroe, nothing severe at this time, maybe some gusty winds. But for right now, looking mainly on the western side of Michigan for any type of weather worth looking at, I guess I'll put it that way. There's your radar here. So Monroe, just starting to rain. Monroe, Estral Beach there, northern Monroe County. We go ahead and look at our rainfall, see how much this is actually has rained here. Give me a second to find it. You know what? This is a new product for me, so I'm still learning it, so I apologize. But there should be a way to look at the rainfall over the course of the past hour here. You know, I have no idea where to find it. I need to learn this product a little bit more. Sorry about that, guys. Just kind of figured out how much rain has fallen here across the area. I need to figure out how to find that product, but I'm not going to spend too much time doing that. So again, nothing really happening around the state. Go ahead and answer some more questions for you guys. Go ahead and zoom back into these over here and over the lake. I need new gutters. Yep, need to clean my gutters here. Wherever heavy rain falls, my gutters are overflowing. I'd expect those storms to reach the western side of Michigan by 9:30, I would say. Be a good guess, I would assume. Power just came back on in Fenville. That's good news. How long were we out for? Just recorded below an inch in Ann Arbor. Yep, it's really cranking. It's really coming down out there. So not surprised by that at all. I'm surprised it didn't include Lenawee, Monroe, or just the bottom tier counties in the flood watch. They may upgrade that this evening at 9 o'clock. They do have another update coming. But for right now, Lenawee, Monroe, Hillsdale, Branch, St. Joseph, Cass, and Berrien counties, you guys are not in a flood watch tonight. Jackson, just some rain for you guys. The rest of the week right now, Kenny, the only day that catches my eye is around Thursday or Friday, but models really don't have much in the way of instability building. So it's a dynamic system, but it's not really catching my eye for severe weather at this point in time. But that could change as we get closer to that time frame. Just for right now, nothing really catching my eye for the week. Huh. That is interesting. Both these storms are interesting over the lake. Again, we do have some more pop-ups happening here in Indiana, but those don't really appear to be strong or becoming strong at this time. So right now, just watching these two storms over here. Check out the one near Nashville again, although that didn't really do much of anything. The one near Hillsdale having some pretty good downpours on it, just north of Jonesville, just south of Hanover, moving northeast at about 30. Really, the only focus right now is going to be on these two cells over here. How much does this program or one similar to this cost? You mean the radar program? Assuming you mean the radar program, this particular one is about $250. Lake Erie looking pretty bad. Yeah, it's not too windy, but it is coming down hard over there. That I bet you're not liking that eastward wind. Yeah, it's going to be pretty bad flooding wise in some areas, not widespread, or it could be widespread depending on how it shapes up. But for most areas, it's going to rain hard and localized flash flooding is possible. But overall, like the ditches and farmers' fields, if there's any rivers in the area, we'll have to keep an eye on those, like the Raisin River here through Washtenaw, Jackson, Lenawee, Monroe counties. We'll have to watch that one. Kalamazoo River, we'll have to watch that one closely. Just not a good situation tonight with this rain, especially because it's rained previously. Just tuning in from Wixom. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, it is pretty cool to see a water spout in person. I've seen one. What I haven't seen is a cold air funnel. I have not seen a cold air funnel. I want to see one of those so bad. Chasing one in Parma? Chasing what? Parma. I know you're over here somewhere. Oh, you're over here. Yeah, that just popped up and kind of died right back out. Yeah, this one storm near Concord, Hanover, Jonesville. Nothing velocity concerning here. It's just going to be some heavy rain. And again, here are those more cells popping up behind it. That's going to continue to happen all throughout the night. So lots of rain on deck for us here in Michigan. These cells down here, look, did they try to take off? I'm going to have to watch these. There's New Carlisle here in Indiana, heading toward Berrien Springs, Niles. But again, the focus right now remains on these storms over the lake. Now, this one is looking like it's extended further down south into the land area near Chesterton here, swinging up toward the southwest part of the state. There is some gusty winds with that. No rotation now that I see on radar. This area up here does catch my eye, but it does appear to be a dominant wind threat at this point for this cell. Up here, there's this one storm with that hook that we saw. There is still some velocities picking up here. Drop a marker here. Just bears watching. So we'll see. Back to some questions here. I'm surprised you haven't seen any, Christine. I've done a few. I've done a few instances of going to Sterling State Park there in Monroe and watching for waterspouts. So I'm surprised you haven't seen one there. Direction the storm is moving, it's barely moving to the east at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. If we go ahead and animate this, this one down here by Niles is blowing up. I'll have to keep an eye on that. If you go ahead and animate this, you can almost see a little bit of spin there in the atmosphere with these storms. I don't know if it's just me, but if you go ahead and toggle through the motion of this, it almost looks like it's spinning. But yeah, these are barely moving. If these two cells converge, they'll be St. Joseph area, I would assume. Yeah, Jeff, let me know how much rain you get over there in Monroe. We just got about an inch over here in Lenawee. The threat for severe and cold water is very low. That's excellent news, Christine. Can we list the email in the comment? Sure. Give me 1 second. I'll type it out for you. There is our email. Can we explain Thursday's weather? I have not looked at models in depth to explain Thursday's weather. Give me a second. I can pull up a model. But like I said, for right now, the severe threat on Thursday is looking very, very, very low at this point. I don't see much in the way of instability being there. But again, I haven't looked at models today. So let me hop on there and take a peek real quick. There's a lot of hype around Thursday, which I don't really understand at this point. Yeah, I still don't see much of anything. Our instability is almost nil. So I don't see at this point in time any type of threat being there. I'm getting surface cape, not even over 500, but you want that over 1,000 to 2,000 or even higher than that. So I'd say the severe threat for Thursday is very low. Give it a second, Christine. That sump pump will kick on pretty quickly. Well, at least usually it will. If it rains hard, it'll probably kick on. Just give the water some time to saturate into the ground. It got chilly. Yes, it did. Grand Rapids just rain for right now. Overnight, just rain. Yeah, these storms are really dumping a lot of water out over the lake. Looking at our MSC group chat here, Alex pointed that out. And he's pulling up 2-3 inches that have occurred with these storms over the lake. So if they move inland, it's man, it's going to be a interesting night for flooding. Yeah, guys, if you guys have rain gauges, send us your reports either tomorrow around noon or so. Well, when the rain stops for you guys, send us your reports. We're kind of curious about that. And you can also send those into NWS as well because they take those reports too. Don't guess on how much rain you got, only if you have a rain gauge, please. I don't want to see guesses. That doesn't really do much. When we have actual physical evidence of rain and rain gauges, that's superb. Could more instability grow by Thursday? Again, we are what is today? Monday, right? So we're Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3-4 days away from this. It's possible, but when the global models really don't pick up on instability, I really don't think it'll be that big of a deal. Let me look at the euro really quickly. I looked at the GFS model. Let me take a peek at the euro and see what the euro says. Any other questions, guys? White pigeon, just some storms, potentially maybe a stronger storm, but as of right now, the severe threat remains very low. I'm pulling up the euro here on my end of things here. Give me 1 second. I'll let you know. Of course, I'm not logged in. I'm going to decline on the euro for now, but I will look here really quickly and see what the dynamics look like. A lot of these weather model sites, you have to log in and make an account or even subscribe to them to get access to data. So I'm not currently logged in. I don't really feel like getting my password out to log in. A good accurate rain gauge to buy. Accurate has a good one. It's on Amazon for like $5-6. Who's going to have the most rain? Probably around the Grand Rapids metro area. So if you're anywhere within like 25, 50 miles of Grand Rapids, you're probably going to have the heaviest rain. And that can extend over toward Lansing as well. But again, it's kind of a toss up as well with the system, just because we have, like right now, for example, we have a lot of these pop-up thunderstorms that have occurred, in particular over here in Hillsdale, Lenawee, Monroe County, that dumped about an inch of rain. That's, in addition to what's coming tonight. So areas like that where we have training thunderstorms or thunderstorms that have been already over that area, it could be locally higher. But for right now, the forecast models are really hinting at the Muskegon, Grand Rapids, Allegan, Lansing, Ionia area for the heaviest rain. That flood watch does extend now over to Detroit, Pontiac. So that encompasses all of central Michigan, south central Michigan. Excuse me. Yeah, just rain. That's really the only threat I see right now. Again, the severe threat is quite low and really tied right now to southwest Michigan. No severe for Oakland County. Who is my favorite weather YouTuber? I don't have one. I don't watch YouTube forecasters. I really don't have a need to. I can do it myself. Is it fair for me to say MSC is? Yeah, Freddie, that definitely does. I guess you're still in the area. You can do some flood chasing tonight? Oh, Jeff. Jeff. What do we think winter is going to be like? So, the short answer is we have no idea. The detailed answer is, historically speaking, El Nino years here in Michigan tend to be warmer than average and also a little bit drier than average. So, I'm not going to say we're going to be warmer and drier, but historically speaking, that's what El Nino usually brings. If that is true, We may see a little bit warmer stretch of weather into November. I'm not saying 80s in November. I'm not saying that. I'm saying maybe 60s, 70s in November, and maybe like 40s, 50s in December. Maybe a couple days hitting 60 in December. But overall speaking, it's way too far out. So to give you any detailed information would be blindfolding yourself, taking a dart and throwing it at the dartboard and hoping it hits the dartboard and not anybody around the dartboard. You do lawn service and snow removal. All right, that makes sense. But yeah, I think it's a little bit too far out to start making predictions for that. And anybody you see making predictions for that is just, I would say, in it for the clicks and clickbait stuff like that. Because right now there really isn't anything to go off of besides historical data. Let me check Ford 40. Yes, I did. Wow, are you serious? Do you mind if I post that on the page? Let me know if I can post it on the page because I will. He sent me a picture of a raging creek in Dexter. Mill Creek in Dexter right now appears to be over its banks or really almost about to flood. So let me know if I can share that. Do you think severe weather this fall may be worse? There is possibility just because we're warmer. If we are warmer, I'm not going to say for sure, but if we are warmer into November, we could see some severe potential in that time frame. There always is potential, no matter what the year is, of what we consider a second season. Which not all years, but most years will have a big warm up in the October November time frame. And if we can get enough moisture, because moisture is the big concern in the fall, if we can get enough moisture present, we could be looking at like a high shear event with low cape. So we have those are really typical. Low instability, but really high wind shear. That's really typical in the fall, and that's usually what you get those severe events happening. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and post that forward. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna go post this on the page. So look on the page here when I post this. This is insane. Sorry, I'm gonna get this up on the page here, so I'll be quiet just for a minute. All right, I'm about to hit post on this. If you guys can go check out that picture in 3, 2, 1 is up. Since you're a storm chaser, what's the biggest tornado that you've ever encountered? That would be the Jay County, Indiana tornado back in 2021. That was quite a large tornado. It was borderline EF3. It was that no, sorry, it's EF2, almost EF3, and that ended up injuring a few people and also killing a lot of cattle. But luckily, nobody was hurt with that storm. If we're talking Michigan tornadoes, I would say my best tornado would probably be back in 2017, and that'd be up in the Thumb near Kingston. That was an EF0, but I was within about a half mile of that and saw it do damage. So, what's up, Drew in Weco Beach? Heavy rain, lightning. Do you have any visual on those storms over the lake? Or are you obscured by the rain currently by you? Yeah, it's on Facebook. The picture I posted is on Facebook. When's most of the rain coming? Overnight. As that low moves in, it's still right now the low pressure. Excuse me, the bulk of the low pressure. Give me 1 second. I'll find it. And I'll tell you exactly where it's at. So right now the low pressure is centered pretty much over. Man, I can't find it. Where's my? There it is. Satellite. Northern Illinois. So as that low continues to trek across Illinois into Indiana and lower Michigan, that's going to be where that rain really kicks up and ramps up. I do want to look at this really quickly. This has a really interesting feature. And check out this. This almost looks like a little snake. You guys see how this snake's out here? Interesting feature over the lake. It is spinning. Look at how that spins at the top storm there. Look how that goes out and then spins. Keep an eye on that here as that moves towards the Sawyer, Bridgman, New Buffalo area. We may have chasers deploying for this storm. Give me 1 second. Chandler and Alex are discussing heading that way. And I might have some type of mammatus over my house right now. It looks really cool up there. I wouldn't call it mammatus, but it looks really like mammatus. So if anybody's on the beach here along the western beach from Bridgman, Sawyer, Stevensville, New Buffalo, you may be seeing something over the lake. I wonder, does New Buffalo have a live cam? A lot of these villages on the lake have live cameras on their beaches. So I'm going to look up New Buffalo's live camera here and see if they have anything. It does not appear they don't. I don't see it. Nope, I don't see that there. So unfortunately, no. Michigan City might, though. Let's try Michigan City. Michigan City does have webcams. Let's see if I can pick up any type of. Oh, it's not live. It's 31 minutes ago. Blah. Let me try the one more site here. That is earlier, unfortunately. Actually, no. Hold on. What is this? 7. Oh, okay. That makes more sense now. All right. Let me go ahead and do something here. Let me go ahead and pull this up for you guys. There's actually a really nice shelf cloud on this. This was as of 10 minutes ago. Let me go ahead and pull this up really quickly. .34, so about 15 minutes ago. I'm going to go ahead and I'll stop sharing my radar and pull up the other tab here. 1 second to pull this up. There we go. You guys should be able to see that now. There it is. That is in Michigan City looking to the north. So very nice shelf cloud on that storm moving in. Yep, good old Lake Michigan Shelfie. That is correct. Just ordered your storm chasing t-shirt. Were they from us? All right, let's see here. Any questions for you guys? Why do we have a big chance of flooding? Because there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and we have a low pressure, which is the form of lift to get the storms up and going. The combination of the two and the slow movement of the low pressure over a long period of time. So moisture, long period of time, rain, long period of time. You get where I'm going with that? Long periods of rain, flooding. How bad are we thinking? Tornadoes? No, I don't expect there to be any sort of tornado, although there is some very broad rotation with this storm. Nothing that indicates or makes me go, oh, wow, that needs to be warned or anything like that. It's just some broad rotation we're kind of monitoring. This line does appear to have some broad rotation along it, anywhere up from South Haven down to New Buffalo. So overall, bears watching, but nothing that's going to wow you at this point in time. So just like I said, bears watching. I have some food here, so I might eat some a little bit. So I apologize. I'll go ahead and take this screen off and go ahead and put the radar back on. All right, for the recap for you guys, we do have some flooding concerns for the evening for most part of central and southern Michigan. Severe threat right now is low, but we are watching some storms over the lake exhibiting some broad rotation. Currently on the lake, there are marine warnings for waterspouts. As that approaches shore, we're watching that closely to see if any rotation or stuff like that can make it on the shore. The threat is low, but it is there, and that's why we are alive. Otherwise, in the state, nothing happening besides rain, some thunder. That's about it. Overnight tonight, expect some more rain. Flooding is certainly possible. That's going to be the main threat. But these two storms, this really one storm now over the lake, is really catching our eye. So we're going to leave it here. And that'll be our focus here for a second. All right. What's up, D-Man? All right, how we can become storm spotters, reporters, and downriver. So the number one thing I'm going to tell you is become a Skywarn spotter. If you want to do like observation stuff like that, get a rain gauge. If you have the money for an anemometer, they're a couple $100, but stuff like that, you can set it up and report that to NWS. I know they have a few, I'm not really sure what you call it. It's like Kokoras or something like that. Weather observer, stuff like that. They do have programs for you to enroll in. Um, we can put, I think there's actually links on our site how to become a Skywarn spotter. I'll have to see if we can add how to become an observer as well. So I would start by contacting NWS Detroit via email or looking on their site for any information. Otherwise, that's what I would suggest for you guys. I'll be on here as long as this storm is posing a risk for a while. So if you guys want to grab some popcorn, I'll be on here for a little bit, I would assume. I don't expect to be on here till 1 a.m. No. Unless you guys want to watch a flood stream, maybe we can just watch some storms go over the same areas. I mean, that doesn't really sound fun to me, but this one area up here caught my eye really quick. If I mute myself, I apologize. Like I said, I was eating, so. How do I get my dot to show up on Spotter Network? All right, so if you have an Apple or an Android, it probably will be different, but for an Apple, the bottom right corner, you're going to see two bars. Click that, go to General, scroll down to Advanced, Report Location, toggle that on. Alexis, the threat for where you're at is pretty much nil for right now. I don't see much in the way of anything forming just because sunset is happening. The only threat that I see is going to be for the shoreline over here in Berrien County and maybe Van Buren County. So Hillsdale, you should be in the clear for any severe for the evening. The stuff in Indiana really just kind of fizzled, so I don't expect much to make it through and last. So I don't see much in the way of anything severe besides what we're watching right over here on the lake. And this isn't moving very fast at all. But you see how this is kind of bowed out now? That could be some pretty gusty winds. So it's not very far away from shore now from St. Joseph and Bridgman. So in fact, we're about to make contact with Michigan down here in New Buffalo. So, hey, check that out. That bears some watching. It's like a little bookend vortex, we call it, where it curls in. We have some broad rotation right there. That's going to be interesting to see what that does over land. Again, moving pretty slowly, so you have some time here in Berrien County. This isn't going to be an immediate threat, but there is, like we said, like we just marked here. Well, we have marked here on the radar. We have some broad rotation with the storm. Definitely bears some watching. You see how this lines up with this little the rotation on the right-hand side of the screen, red and green meet. It lines up perfectly with a little bit of a lesser radar return here. That's indicative of what we call kind of like a donut hole, we call it. Nothing to be concerned about at this time, but it does show some rotation with that storm. And again, up here along this area too, we do have some rotation, broad rotation showing up. This is pushing toward Berrien and Van Buren counties, so we're going to keep it right here. Here's our new scan. That area of rotation is since dissipated, but we do have this area up here still to watch. So all right, I just finished my dinner here. All right, now I can just settle in. The purple on the velocity map is basically nothing. It's just what the radar can't really just make out what it is. We call it clutter. There's an official term for it, but I call it clutter. This area does appear to be kind of on radar here. I don't know if you can make it out, but it does appear to be rotating overall. Like, look, if I go ahead and pause this, and I go ahead and loop it through. Look at this. Look at the storm. Is it just me? I'll go ahead and take this full. Let me know if it's just me, but it does appear to be rotating on my end of things. So go ahead and watch this. Is that storm not rotating up there? The whole entire thing? That might be an MCV trying to take shape there. If that's the case, some gusty winds here for St. Joseph area might be on deck here. See how it's bowed out? Interesting. Go ahead and take back our velocity map here. Yeah, this does, it's not concerning, but it does raise your eyebrows. Anything interesting over me right now? No, not this time. Unless I'm missing something. The only thing nearby for me is up in Jackson, but that's really, there's nothing there. Just some moderate to heavy rain. Radar hole. Talk about a radar hole. Talk about Northwest Ohio. There needs to be an office in Bowling Green or somewhere local to that area. There's a big radar gap where these radars can't really see any less than like 5,000 feet off the ground. So that's pretty bad. Another photo. I'll go ahead and take a peek at that. Give me 1 second. Thank you for that. Looks like the Huron River is starting to flow a bit higher as well. The Huron River will probably take a little bit more to get over and flooding. It's a bigger river, so. No, D-Man, you do it on the app. You can do it online, but it's a lot harder to access. I do all my Spotter Network stuff through my RadarScope app. If you don't have RadarScope, I can't really answer that question, but for me on RadarScope, it's just the bottom right toggle. Go to your general, all the way down to advanced settings, and you can toggle your location on and off. New SPC Outlook is out? Yes, it is. Or it should be. I'm not going to say it is just yet. I'll go look at it real quick. We do come out with those at 9 p.m. And then after that, we should have updates from both Grand Rapids and Detroit. So the SPC is separate from NWS. It's the same overall company or organization, should I say. But the SPC issues things like the daily outlooks. They do issue tornado watches. They issue, what else do they issue? I'm losing my mind. The local offices are the ones that issue the warnings and the flood watches, stuff like that. So the SPC is out in Oklahoma, and we also have the NWS offices here in Detroit and Grand Rapids. But the SPC updates their outlook at 9 p.m., and then after that, Detroit and Grand Rapids will issue either forecast updates or they'll just do a maintenance update where they just say, all right, nothing needs changing. We're going to go ahead and just leave it as is. Yes, so the new update for SPC has removed the severe risk for Michigan. And that's really weird that they did that. Surprise, surprise, just because we have storms now over the lake that bear watching. But I understand why they did that. I really do. There's really the loss of daytime heating overall, just not really impressive for the storms. But there again is showing some Bridgman. It is on shore now in the very southern tip here, about a mile inland near Buffalo. But the bulk of the heaviest velocities are showing up just to the west of St. Joseph. I do it on radar scope, D man. If that doesn't work for you, I'm not really sure what to tell you. Say what again? What part? What's up, John from Manitoba Beach? All right, thank you, Ford 40. Awesome. Oh yeah, the SPC does an update at 9 p.m. and the 9 p.m. update has removed Michigan from the severe risk. And I said I understand why they did that, but the storm is showing signs of life over here. That's really all I said. Special marine warning here still for waterspout possible. Not surprised. Excuse me. Not surprised by that. Interesting velocity features here. There's our latest scan, looking like it's starting to weaken on the rotation wise, but we do have this area of brighter green velocities now showing up here. So again, coming on shore here next probably 15 minutes to a half hour, all the way up towards South Haven, Holland, Grand Haven. Let's go ahead and take Grand Rapids radar on this and see what it shows. Does anybody here have clear skies? The reason I ask is because Starlink is once again expected to go overhead at around 10:18 again tonight. If you have clear skies, might as well go outside and look up. You might see a good Starlink train. I lost you guys in the comments. There it is. Got that up. Yeah, I figure it's raining for most people here. It will be raining most of the night. Well, good news is our drought is gone, in most of the state at least. The bad news is now we're looking at flooding. Can we just have nice weather? Can we have nice things here in Michigan? It's either one extreme or the other. Either we're in a severe drought or we're going to have flooding rains. Make it make sense. Go ahead and recap what's going on here. Overall, the state right now just seeing a lot of rain. Some areas are more heavier than others. This will continue to fill in overnight, become an issue, a concern for flooding. There is a flood watch in effect for Grand Rapids, Lansing, and over toward Detroit areas, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, all 94 over to Jackson County, all the way up to the Flint area, and then over towards the, again, Pontiac, Detroit area. That's going to be for 1 to 2 inches of rain mainly. Then the isolated instances of 3 inches or higher is possible. I'm not sure if we're going to have an update adding counties or taking counties out at the 9 p.m. update. I have not looked at any of the new updates yet, if anything has been released, but as of right now, that is the main area for the flood watch. I'm making an update here. No update from Detroit yet. Checking Grand Rapids now. No update from Grand Rapids. So still waiting on updates from the offices here in Michigan to see if they're going to do any maintenance on their forecast. Overall, the update for the evening is going to be just heavy rain. A lot of heavy rain for most of us here in central and southern parts of Michigan. Flooding is possible. Severe threat is low. The only thing we're watching right now is this line of stronger storms over the lake that does have some broad rotation now just west of St. Joseph, as you can see here. That'll be moving onshore here within the next 15 minutes to a half hour. I like the radar out of Indiana better for this. Again, these severe, or these boxes you see on the screen are special marine warnings. I know you probably can't see it, but on my screen, when I click that box, it pops up a little text screen, and it basically just says that it's a waterspout possible moving east at 20 to 30 knots. Small hail and waterspouts is the hazard. I'll be in just rain for you guys. No severe weather threat tonight. And this area down here really is catching my eye here. Go ahead and look at this. This is 40 to 45 miles per hour along here, just west of St. Joseph here. So if you're in Berrien County, do we have anybody watching from Berrien County here? Anybody at all? Because you're on deck for some gusty winds here. Stevensville, Bridgman, Sawyer, St. Joseph, Berrien Springs, Sister Lakes. All about to get some good gusty winds with this. That really, I don't know, it caught my eye for a second. A lot of good velocities with this, a lot of interesting velocities to make it kind of stop and go, huh? But nothing really that indicates tornado imminent, stuff like that. These would be, I would assume, tornadic. These are associated with like a QLCS line here. So if any tornadoes do happen over the lake, they'd be tornadic, not waterspout. I mean, they are waterspouts, but not like your typical waterspout. Lansing, no severe threat for you, just heavy rain overnight. You are in a flood watch. What time is this? This is live. The radar here you're looking at is live. And you can really see, if you look at the animation of this, it really does seem like it's spinning. I know I'm not losing it. Already breaking up. Yeah, probably my Wi-Fi. Issue with Wi-Fi. Yeah, they'll cut it in and out, so I'm sorry for that. So just because the loss of daytime heating is probably going to weaken, but because the low pressure is so close, it does have some dynamics up in the upper levels that do support the maintenance of storms. So it'll be kind of hard to see. I mean, it's 9:17, sun's down now. So these storms should weaken over the course of the next hour or two, just turn into some thunderstorms with heavy rain. But this we'll just keep on this right now as it moves on to Berrien County, just because we still have some of these interesting areas of some broad rotation occurring. Sometimes when storms move from lake over to land, it does. There's a term for it, but it does interact differently with the ground. So these storms may strengthen when they hit, or they may completely weaken. So we'll see. Again, we're only a few minutes out from the storm making landfall over here in Berrien County. I feel like I'm watching a hurricane making landfall in Berrien County. Yeah, this area up here, I'll go ahead and drop the marker. So we have these bright greens over here. That is, I don't know, that's interesting to look at, that's for sure. These brighter greens with reds close by, it kind of catches your eye, but I don't think that's much in the way of anything to be too concerned about at this point in time. Looks like the bulk of the heavy winds are going to be, this little dot right here is showing up at 55 miles per hour, approaching 60. So I doubt we'll get a warning for Berrien County, but if this does increase, I wouldn't be surprised. All throughout this line, you have some areas of interesting velocity, but the one that catches my eye the most is right down here, the brightest green is. Again, all throughout the state tonight, just some rain. No severe weather is expected, but we are watching this area over here in the southwestern Michigan area here. Particularly this storm over here by St. Joseph. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button on the stream. We would appreciate that. Waiting for the next update on this because this area of brighter velocity here, I think it's mainly just because of a downburst, but I'm curious here if this is going to actually. If it does anything like it has been doing, it'll broaden back out here. But just because it's so close to land here, it's becoming a little bit more concerning. All right, we have a special weather statement just got issued for Berrien County. It says strong thunderstorm was tracking. I'm not sure why they. Okay. Special weather statement for Berrien County now. It says a strong thunderstorm capable of producing a waterspout over Lake Michigan near Bridgman hazard waterspouts and winds in excess of 40 miles per hour. Radar indicated as a source. Waterspouts can easily overturn boats and create locally hazard waters. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow unsecured objects. Conditions are favorable for development of weak, brief funnel clouds. This type of funnel cloud is harmless, but on rare occasions can briefly touch down, producing winds over 50 miles per hour. If funnel clouds are spotted, move indoors. Okay, so basically what they're saying is inland waterspouts are possible. We'll have to keep an eye on it because these do appear to be rotation on radar would indicate this could be tornadic waterspouts. So the western shoreline here in Berrien County needs to be on alert for that threat here in the next 15 minutes to a half hour, especially here in Berrien County near St. Joseph, Stevensville, Bridgman, and Sawyer. Be on alert here. We just got the new scan in, waiting for the velocity to match up. But that does go until 10 p.m. So Berrien County, you are in a risk now from the NWS in northern Indiana has placed you in a special weather statement for inland waterspouts. Hop back over here in the comments section. Have not been in comments in a second. I missed some comments here, guys. Give me a second to read through these. He's got a flood warning issued now. We'll go ahead and see where that got issued. All right, new radar scan here does indicate still some very strong velocity showing up here. Go ahead and mark this really quick and see where this is at. All right, so on the back side of that, that's good news. But we do have an interesting area here. Interesting. So yeah, I'd say Berrien County with this storm, I would definitely be inside, if not in the center part of your house. This is not tornado warned, but there is some broad rotation. And this storm is capable of producing waterspouts, and that could move inland. So if you are in Berrien County, in particular close to Stevensville here along Bridgman, Stevensville, you are in the threat right now for inland waterspouts. We have a flood warning now that just got issued for the Grand Rapids South metro area. For this slow-moving line here, go ahead and zoom back out. This line is moving so slowly, it's going to dump a lot of rain, guys. So Holland, Allegan, Hastings, you guys are all in this flood warning. Wayland, Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, although Battle Creek I don't believe is in it. Yeah, Battle Creek is just off to the east of it. But Kalamazoo, you are included. So anywhere from Holland to Kalamazoo, Wayland to Hastings, flood warning for you guys. That should pop up on my screen here. Let me go ahead and see if I can get this popping up here. All right, wait for it to pop in. It should pop in here momentarily. I'm going to watch this storm very closely down here in Berrien County. It does show signs of broad rotation, and their inland waterspouts are possible. A lot of people asking tornadic or non-tornadic. It's NWS says non-tornadic, but via velocity here, would not be surprised if we got a tornadic waterspout. Inland waterspout basically is a waterspout that moves in over land. It's considered a landspout or tornado. Landspouts can move, or should I say waterspouts can move over into land, and that becomes a either tornado or a landspout. This is tracking to the east very, very slowly, about 10 miles an hour. Oh, man, Renzo, you're killing me tonight. Those in flood warning, get a straw and start drinking. Make it go away. Man, it's a lot of water. There's a flood watch for Stockbridge. There is no flood warning for Stockbridge. If you're talking severe weather, there is no severe weather expected for Stockbridge tonight. Jackson has an aerial flood watch. Yes, that is correct. Where is the flood warning? Great question. And there it is. See that green box right there? There is your flood warning. It's in effect until, is that right? 1500? That'd be 11 o'clock tomorrow. Maybe we'll double check that real quick. 1500 hours in a UTC time. That would be 11 o'clock tomorrow. And that's correct. That's a flood warning until 11 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning. So South Metro, Grand Rapids, North Metro, Kalamazoo, Allegan, Wayland, Hastings, Holland, South Haven, Fenville, Lake Odessa, Caledonia, Plainwell, Martin, Vermontville, Woodland, Freeport, Middleville. You guys are in that flood warning until 11 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning. That's going to be because this line is moving so slow, it's probably going to dump about 3 to 4 inches of rain. Honestly, between 2 and 4 inches of rain is possible with that. Interesting feature still showing up on radar here with this red and green meeting coming onto land. It is over land now, and we're going to go just south of Stevensville by about 2 miles. We do have some broad rotation showing up there. So again, possible waterspout coming inland for Berrien County. There is a special weather statement issued. Just got a report on Twitter of a possible waterspout that was occurring a little while ago, just to the west of Benton Harbor. That does not appear to be a current report. That would be a little bit earlier when the storm was back about here. Or about there, I'd say. So again, these storms are showing some signs of broad rotation. Some inland waterspouts are possible. So some landspouts and or tornadic circulations are possible in Berrien County right now. No warnings in effect, just a special weather statement from the Grand Rapids, or sorry, from Indiana. This is actually Indiana's county to cover from North Webster. So Stevensville, between Bridgman and Stevensville, you guys are in that highest strip for that right now. I'll take some comments now. Lots of comments coming in. I'm sorry for missing your comments, guys. It is a very large area, and it's a very large line of storms there. So I'm not surprised they went ahead and issued that area, just because we've been watching this thing for over an hour and a half now, and it's still not on shore. That's how slow it's moving. So this thing is dumping rain and dumping a lot of rain. See how slow this is? Every scan you see is 6 minutes, 4 to 6 minutes is every scan. So it moved all of about 5 miles in about an hour and a half. It's crazy. We also have more stuff, more rain popping out ahead of this, so it's filling in very nicely as expected. That's also why you have that flood watch in effect, and now the flood warning for Grand Rapids Metro. I'm waiting for the new scan for this storm down here. This scan is 4 minutes old, so we should get an update here any time. Overall, guys, this threat does appear to be pretty much winding down, except for down here in the Stevensville area. Although there is still some interesting velocity features along this line, but that will continue to weaken as the evening goes on here. Nothing too strong at this point like there is down here in Stevensville area. So once this is weakened, we'll probably hop off here, and um, I don't think this is going to be much of an issue for onshore. We'll have to just keep an eye down here in Berrien County. That is clear air. Okay. Go ahead and leave this shot on here and go ahead and animate this so you guys can see it. That flood warning does extend all the way down for Van Buren County. So Bangor, Hartford, Paw Paw, South Haven, Fenville, Allegan, all included, as well as Kalamazoo metro area. That is include the Kalamazoo downtown as well. I don't know if that time is right, but it does say 1500, which in Zulu time. Hold on, let me look at this really quick. Issue time 10. End time, yeah, it does say 1500. So I don't know. I guess it's until. I'm gonna double check that. I don't understand why they issued it that long. I mean, I do and I don't. Let me make sure this is correct. Flood warning is in effect until 9:15 a.m. It says 9:15 a.m. on the actual text of the warning. So I'm not sure why it says 1500, but it does now show 9:15 a.m. and that is tomorrow morning. This overall threat down here appears to be winding down as well. Again, nothing really showing up now. Interesting velocity still, but you really don't want to see. You want to see like these brighter greens and brighter reds type come together. So some waterspouts are still possible here, but nothing on my radar here is showing that anything is imminent. So looks like it's going to wind down. This area might bear some watching, but otherwise, this looks like mainly it's moved on shore and it's since weakened, as we did have some brighter colors of velocity. But back it up here, you'll see those brighter colors there lasted a few scans right there, right there, right there. And then as it moved down shore, it does appear to have weakened. So we'll keep on here for another couple scans here and then probably hop off here towards the 10 o'clock time frame. But again, flood warning is in effect here for this green box. Excuse me. So Holland, Hastings, Allegan, Kalamazoo, Paw Paw, South Haven, you guys are all in that flood warning, and that goes until 9:15 in the morning. Expect a majority of us here in southern lower Michigan to be in a threat for flooding overnight into the tomorrow morning time frame. 1 to 3 inches of rain is likely. Isolated higher amounts are possible. Let's go ahead and take some comments here. That's crazy too, because we just got out of a drought. So we went from drought to talking about flood concerns. Likely not straight line winds. No, there's really no dynamics in place instability wise to support that. The wind shear is really good, but we need more than just wind shear to get these storms going. Someone get a sponge? Yes, we do. We need a sponge. Occasional moderate gust sky cam is rain shredded. Not surprised. Nice gentle thunder in Three Rivers. Yep, that's awesome. We should be in the Michigan Storm Chasers comedy, so when it gets boring, we can provide entertainment. Hey, not a bad idea. We try to have some fun on our live streams here. We can be serious and we can also have a good time. No, Westland is not in a threat for severe weather. It's just going to be some rain for you guys. What does the red mean? Just heavier rain. So what reds are we talking about? Are we talking on the left side of your screen or the right side of the screen? I'll go ahead and answer the question. So reds on this screen, I'll go ahead and take it full so you guys know what I'm talking about. So reds on this radar is just your rain. So the green and blues are lighter rain. The yellows and oranges are moderate rain. And the reds and sometimes purples, like down here, it's this purple colored Dewajak. Those are your really heavy rains and sometimes hail. If we talk about reds on the velocity map, this map, the reds are outbound winds and the greens are inbound winds. So the radar site down here in Indiana, if winds are moving toward this radar, it's green. Away from the radar, it's red. So these winds are moving away, so northerly from Indiana. So these winds are northerly, and the greens are more southerly / easterly. This area right here caught my eye. Nah, not the same thing. Hold on. There we go. Yeah. That could be something here. You see how this brighter green's coming in here? We have this red stuff starting to meet. This could be something to watch here. And also with this little bowing inward C shape does indicate maybe a hook on this storm as well. So that does bear some watching over the course of the next couple scans. We'll go ahead and take this 4-panel. I'm probably confusing the crap out of you guys with all this data here. I apologize. That does not line up. All right, that's good news. The purple on the map is just where the radar is having trouble reflecting what's there. It's what we call clutter a lot of times. It's not rain, it's not wind, it's just clutter. It doesn't really mean anything. We'll have to start an MSC comedy club. We'll have to do that. We could always do live podcasts. We have 5 guys on here who are various personalities. We all get along great. We could always do live podcasts for you guys, some hangouts if you guys want to do that. What's up, Chad? Salute to you. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah, the stream is an hour 45 minutes long. Thank you guys for watching this. We'll probably hop off here shortly, but I do want to stay on here just a bit longer. Yes, the storms and the flood warning are moving east very, very slowly. They are expected to move across the state. The rain will fill in across the state overnight tonight. So, Detroit Metro, you guys will get rain. Yeah, five guys with the fast food chain. You're killing me, Ryan. So, oh boy, here we go. The purple is chemtrail. No, you're welcome, Joey. Yeah, Dexter did have that EF3 tornado back in 2012. That is correct. We can actually look at radar data from that day if you guys want to. We could, but we also have a threat going on now, so probably not a good idea. What's up, Jenny? Already have just under an inch of rain in Waltz. Yes. Down here in the Dundee area, we also have right around that between probably zero point 0.8 and zero point 0.9 inches. I have not looked at the official rain gauge. It might be right around 9/10 of an inch. We'll have to look at the data here on a night that we don't have potential severe weather or anything happening. There's just a lot going on. Actually, let me see if I can do this really quick. I can open Radar Scope. You guys can still hear me. Hopefully, I can open Radar Scope and pull it up here, and I can just quickly share the screen. The problem with this is when people hop on here, just if people hop on here at a time where we're covering this and looking at the Dexter tornado and they see the bright, green and red, they think, oh, look, there's a tornado happening right now. No, I want to avoid that. So if we can avoid that, we'll do this very quickly. This is even possible. Let me go ahead and go back here to 2015 or 2012, should I say, March 15th. Select. That was right around, I want to say, between 5 and 6. That is not the day. Hold on. I got the wrong day. No, I didn't. Oh, why did it do that? Why did it do that? I have this set at 2012, but it's showing me 2023. Let's try that. There we go. It's loading up. There it is. Here we go. Perfect. So now I can do this. So if I stop sharing this screen, and I go ahead and bring up the radar scope here, we can see here is your radar for the Dexter tornado. Again, this is not live. Can you guys see that? That is your Dexter tornado. take a good long look. I'm about to go ahead and stop sharing the screen here. Again, this is not live. This is back in 2012 looking at some radar data. But very, very clear evidence there of a tornado on the ground back in 2012 there. So not live. Like Chad is saying in the comments, this is not live. This is back in 2012. I'll go ahead and stop sharing that screen. And I'll go ahead and share the actual radar that's live. Again, no threat tonight. Really no threat tonight for any type of tornadoes. That was only from a few years ago in Dexter. All right, now we should be back to the radar screen that is currently live. And we do have, so you see how these storms are now on land here, and all this brighter green is kind of went to black. That's what we expect to happen for the most part. It's just going to be some heavy rain. So I think we're pretty much safe to go ahead and call this a night here pretty soon. Again, maybe some gusty winds in some areas. The possibility of a low-end threat for a waterspout that comes onshore. But the overall threat for that tonight is dying with the sun going down. So I'd say the severe threat is pretty much over. Good news is we didn't have any severe weather in the state. The bad news is rain is just getting started, and it'll continue to fill in as the evening goes on. So flooding is now the main focus. We do have a flood warning now in effect for South Grand Rapids Metro, North Kalamazoo Metro, over to Charlotte, over towards Lansing. So Hastings, Wayland, Allegan, South Haven, Bangor, Holland, Lake Odessa, Caledonia, Vermontville, and Middleville, Freeport. You guys are all in this threat, including Richland too, and then Hooper, Martin. Just quite a bit of area here covering for this slow-moving line here moving onshore. Again, we've been tracking this over 2 hours now, and this is still not on land. This is moving so slow, and also it's maintaining its strength here with the rainfall rates. So it's going to be a soaker for you guys. So with that being said, we're probably going to hop off here. I'm going to hop on some comments here real quickly. How far can we go back? I can go back in 1980s. Oh man, not all of the wow. I can go back to 1980s on that data. I can't load all the days, but most bigger severe weather days are loaded in this file here. So it was an intense hook there. Did the Mayfield tornado look like that on the radar? The Mayfield tornado looked about as textbook as you can get. It did look very similar to that. It had that nasty hook, and it also had the very bright velocity colors. It actually maxed out the velocity colors, which is why you see that in correlation to the EF4 status it was given. So check out South Haven Beach Cam. All right, give me 1 second. I'll do that. You guys will make me stay on here a lot longer than I want to. I'll pull it up here. It's loading on my end. The line is moving east, and Macomb County will get rain tonight. No severe weather for Macomb County. Yes, Vince, it'll make it to southeast Michigan, although more rain will fill in as the evening goes on. All right, I'm on South Haven Beach Cam. It's dark. I don't really see much lightning or anything like that. I'm sure there is lightning there. I just don't see it here. All right. The Mayfield, okay. The Mayfield tornado was an EF4. The Dexter tornado was an EF3. Not surprised by that. Macomb County between 1 and 3. Yes, Macomb County, you are under a flood watch. Between 1 and 3 inches of rain, locally higher amounts are possible. I went ahead and put them in timeout. All right, guys, I'm going to take one last look at radar here and probably hop off here, but we do have some areas still of some brighter velocity, but for the most part, this is decaying in the sense of wind velocity, so great news for severe weather. But overall, the rain threat will continue into the overnight, into the early morning hours. That does encompass the entire central and southern parts of lower Michigan. Before I hop off here, last thing we'll do is check for any update from either NWS office. They do issue these right around this time frame. Detroit has not issued any update yet. Let me check Grand Rapids. If any update does happen to the flood watches, I will make a post on our page for it. But for the most part, there are no updates from either Grand Rapids or Detroit at this time. So with that being said, I'm going to hop off here. Severe threat is very low through the evening. It's just going to be a very heavy rain threat at this point, and that goes for all central and southern parts of Michigan. So flash flooding and river flooding as the days go on when the rivers start to rise. That'll be our main concern here in the next couple of days. So with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good night.